Hello, everybody, and of course, welcome back to another episode of X Talking. It's with your boy X.
And ish.
You already know what to do. If you are on Facebook, please make sure you go ahead and like and share this broadcast. If you are on our Facebook page, please make sure and like our Facebook page at X Talking Ish. If you are on YouTube, please make sure you go ahead and hit that red subscribe button so we get more people on here to check us out on YouTube. And if you are checking out this show because you know about it because of future uh, presentations like this one, go ahead and hit that notification bell in the top right hand corner.
Ding.
Thank you for that, Ish. And as well, if you are on Twitter, please make sure you go ahead and check us out on X Talking Ish on Periscope. And as well, if you want to check me out on X_Williams81, I am streaming it as well on my personal page. Alrighty, then, with that being said, Ish, it's week 17. We're finally here. If it was last season, this would be the last
The
regular
last
season
week,
game
yeah.
of the year before we go into the playoffs. But of course, we have 17 games this year, meaning that we have 18 regular season weeks, which I've stated all season long. I know everybody's tired of me saying it, but I'm going to keep on saying it. We have 17 games, so that's why we have 18 weeks. So that's why we have these 2 weeks of regular season to play. And that is okay because that allows us to enjoy a little bit more football, even though I know the players probably don't enjoy it too much, but that's here nor there. We'll talk about that another day. But Ish, let's talk about what this weekend really symbolizes to me. I could be wrong, but I just want to hear from my boy. I feel like today, for majority of teams in the NFL, is a take care of your business type of game. If we expect the Buffalo Bills, depending on the game with the Patriots and the Colts, we'll see how that turns out. Both of those teams are vying for playoff spots. You have the Titans playing against the Dolphins. You have teams like the Rams. You have teams like the Rams playing against the Ravens. You have teams like the Raiders. I'm sorry, like the Chiefs and the Bengals playing each other. You have some games that are going to be competitive that could go either way. But for the most part, let's say teams like the Washington football team versus the Eagles should win that game, right? You know, Bills and Falcons. Bills, they take care of your business. So, like I said, for most of these games, I know some people are probably gonna roll their eyes before we get into the picks. But some of these picks are the same for both of us. But that's just because we both feel like most of these teams should take care of business. Now, we've seen so far this season has been a wacky NFL season. Nobody can predict what goes on every Sunday just because it's been that crazy, from the Lions beating the Cardinals to the Texans beating the Titans, right? So we just never know what happens week in and week out. We just know that, hey, usually every weekend we have some pretty damn good football. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start off with our first game of the slate. Like I said, should be a take care of your business type of game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though with all the injuries that they do have, head into MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Jets. Ish, I'll let you take this one. What do you feel about this
Uh,
game?
yeah. I mean, it's just gonna be the Buccaneers doing what they need to do, go out there, win the game. They've already clinched the NFC South, so they're not worried about that from that standpoint. It's just another game for them. Just go out there, do what you need to do. I'm wondering if teams. I'm assuming next week teams will start resting players.
Got to, got
It
to.
doesn't appear like many teams are planning on resting their players this week. So yeah, with the pretty much what you expect to see full strength Buccaneers team of what's available, they should just take care of the Jets.
That's just to piggyback off of what you're saying. At the moment, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are number 4 in the NFC. They are only a game back from the number 1 spot to try to maybe steal it back from the from the Green Bay Packers. My question is, Ish, out of these teams, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Rams, and the Buccaneers, which team needs home field advantage the most?
Um, I think it's a big deal for Green Bay. I think that while we have made comments in the past and we've kind of talked about how Lambeau has kind of lost that kind of mystique that everybody used to talk about of, oh, you can't go into Lambeau and win in the playoffs. It's nearly impossible, all of that. I don't think it's quite like it was before, but I do still think that is a big advantage. especially when you're talking about the teams that are competing with and the teams that people are looking at as the top contenders in the NFC. When you look at a team like LA, who plays mainly indoors in that LA weather, you look at Tampa Bay, who plays down in Tampa Bay, where it's nice, sunny most of the time. No, I don't think any of those teams now, while none of the teams are going to come out and say, "Oh, I don't want to play in Lambeau because of weather," because at the end of the day, you got to just do what you do, go take care of business, no matter what the weather, no matter where you're at. But at the same time, that is a huge advantage for Green Bay if they can manage to get home field advantage through the NFC side of the playoffs. Like that will be a big advantage for them, no matter who they end up playing. So I do think for Green Bay, it's a lot more important.
I completely understand where you're coming from, and I would any other year most likely say you are correct, especially maybe even last year when we had a guy named Aaron Rodgers who was the MVP, who had home field advantage, who was at home against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who ended up losing that game against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Though. I understand. Look, I'm not saying I'm not saying the same thing that happened last year is going to happen this year. What I'm stating is that it's not just last year with Aaron Rodgers and Lambeau Field. This has been going on for at least 10 years now. And what is unfortunate, I'm very serious when I say this, Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Brett Favre. Okay, let's not get it twisted. Let's not act like, oh, I love Brett Favre because he's a gunslinger. Brett Favre has 200 more interceptions than Aaron Rodgers. So we're not even going to have that conversation right now, okay? Aaron Rodgers is by far a better quarterback than Brett Favre. But just unfortunately, just due to the unforeseen things that he cannot control on defense, special teams, tip balls, whatever it is, it has not allowed him to move forward and go to not just the NFC Championship game almost every year, but a Super Bowl. He's only been to one Super Bowl and he's only won one. And as great as Aaron Rodgers is, we expect him to not just go to multiple Super Bowls, but win multiple Super Bowls. So we all know with the hoopla going on with the Packers before the season started, we didn't know if Aaron Rodgers was going to be there. We still don't even know if Aaron Rodgers is going to be there next season. But I will say this. To be able to make everyone happy, and I know Aaron Rodgers ain't worried about making the management happy. He ain't worried about that at all. But it's about making himself happy. You got to go out and go win a championship. It don't matter if you're on the road or at home. You got to find a way. And who knows, I feel like maybe for the Packers, it might be better for them to maybe run through the road. You know, not be a fourth or fifth seed, but I'm just saying maybe it might allow them to, if they drop to the second seed and they don't get home field and they play NFC Championship game somewhere else, it might help them be able to move forward because they don't have that pressure being at home. That's how I see it as well too. But, of course, we will wait and see what happens with that. We have the Rams and the Ravens. Before I get to this game, I'm going to go ahead and make sure my boy Dane McQueen get his love because he is a Ravens fan. He says, Bleezy Road in tune. I don't know what that Bleezy is, but I'm going to let him – I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm going to let him say what he's saying because, it's random folks just be saying random things on here. I don't know. I don't control it. That's just like Aaron Rodgers. I don't control the defense, baby. You feel me? I just control what I can control. All righty then with the Rams and the Ravens. The one thing that the Ravens cannot control right now is the healing of Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson will not be playing again in this game. And to be honest with you, let's be real-ish. I think the Ravens are saving Lamar from himself. The Ravens know that they are on a very slippery slope right now, and they could be looking at not being in the playoffs. And I honestly feel like, and I'm pretty sure you feel like as well too, with all the injuries that the Ravens have, the Rams have no excuse to not win this game, especially if you're trying to continue to gain more momentum, going into the playoffs, getting more chemistry going on with OBJ, getting that defense where it needs to be. I think this is a good game for the Rams to get right against the Ravens. And unfortunately for the Ravens, the injuries have caught up to them. Just the lack of production and explosive plays have caught up to them. And great coaching by Harbaugh throughout the whole season. But Josh Johnson is only going to get you so far. Hey, questionable. I got you. You're correct. Multiple games where you could say, I don't know if I would have went for that 2-point conversion. But again, to be able to manage the whole team throughout the injuries that you had every week, it seems like somebody's been going down. You got to give you kudos to Harbaugh.
Yeah, I guess so. For me, I do think the Rams are favored for a reason. especially against a Ravens defense that has been hobbled throughout the year, like you said, and they like to play a lot of man-to-man, which Matthew Stafford has been carving man-to-man up. So that doesn't bode well for them. Not to mention you got OBJ, who's been turning it on. You got Cooper Kupp, who has been on fire. And then Sony Michel, who out of the backfield has the most touches of any back this past month. But not only does he have the most touches, but he is producing with those touches. Unlike in New England, where he seemed to be struggling, he is picking up momentum and at the right time for LA. So if he can continue doing that, it helps this offense even more. It takes less. It takes more of that pressure off of Matthew Stafford and allows him to do what he needs to do. And like you said, the defensive line, you got they need to kind of get back into form a little bit, get some more pressure on these guys. That secondary, we know what they can do. So I think they are favored for a reason. I know they're favored for a reason. However, I do want to say I'm not necessarily counting Baltimore out. While I didn't choose them, Tyler Huntley is coming back. He has been wonderful when he's played for them, both in the preseason and in the regular season games that he's played for this team. He's done a wonderful job commanding this offense. I don't think that there's much of a drop off from he and Lamar Jackson. I actually even think that not necessarily he's better than Lamar Jackson, but he does add a little bit something to the passing game when he's in versus when Lamar's in. So that's something to be. And you got to think from a pride standpoint. This team's not going to want to go down without a fight. I think that they're going to play hard today because they do not want to be eliminated from playoff contention. While I already am going to tell everybody they will not be making the playoffs, this team and any team out there that's still in contention, they are not going to just lay over for any of these playoff teams and just allow them to walk over them. So I expect a good, hard-fought game from Baltimore, but I just don't think they have enough from the injuries and all that's been going on over there. They're going to fall short, obviously, and, we'll see what happens during the offseason and next season. And maybe a team might come in. One of the things I'm hoping for, because I love chaos, maybe a team might come in and throw a little bid at him for Tyler Huntley. I mean, there's a lot of teams out here that are kind of questionable, iffy in the quarterback spot. They got some questions. Maybe they want to go to a guy and give him an opportunity. We've seen it in the past with guys like Matt Schaub, who's got an opportunity in Atlanta. We saw it a guy like Tyrod Taylor, who was also in Baltimore as a backup for a while, ended up getting a starting job in Buffalo, and we saw what happened there. So, yeah, I mean, maybe we'll see something in the offseason with that, but as of today, let's just talk about how the Rams are going to win this game.
I'm not mad at what you're saying. I like what you're saying. I agree with everything that you're saying. I will say to Raven fans, we're not trying to pile this on you and make it seem like y'all are out of the playoffs, because you're not at all. Right now, at the moment, you are the 8th seed, right behind Miami. And Miami, Baltimore, the Chargers, and the Las Vegas Raiders all have the same record at 8-7. And Miami has a tough game with Tennessee Titans today. And Chargers in Vegas, they play some pretty decent games as well today as well. So we have to wait and see. Chargers play the Broncos. So, I mean, with the Broncos, we never know what team comes out with them, right? Every week, we expect them to lose, and then all of a sudden they play really well and they win a game. The Raiders play the Colts. That game, most likely, I'm assuming that the Colts should win that game, but we have to wait and see. The NFL has been crazy this week, this past year, to where you expect the team to win and they don't, and it makes you look crazy. So I will say for the Ravens fan base, don't count yourself out just yet.
No, not
just this week, but next week. That's what Ish feels. But next week, if Ish like chaos, that's what next week is going to be. Next week is going to be chaotic. All righty, then. Before we do get into the next topic at hand, I just want to let everybody know. If you don't know, now you know. I'm going to need y'all to go outside real quick, because us in Houston, we were spoiled over the last couple of weeks in this winter weather, and apparently Mother Nature said we're going to slap you back to reality. I'm not just wearing this beautiful jacket just for no reason, not just because I look good in it. I'm also wearing it because it went from 50-degree drop from 80 degrees to 30 degrees in just one night. And I just don't understand it. I'm trying to figure it out. Ish, can you help me out? I'm not a weatherman. I'm just a sportsman. So I'm just trying to
I'm not a weatherman, but, I'm liking this colder weather. It feels really nice right now.
You weirdos and y'all cold weather. Y'all kill me with that crap. All right, then I'm going to need y'all to go up to Indiana since y'all love cold weather so much. And speaking of Indiana, of course, the Raiders take on the Indianapolis Colts at home. At the moment, Ish and I are running with the Colts, mainly for me because of how well he's been playing. Jonathan Taylor is running his little heart out, trying to make an MVP case for the rest of the season. But in reality, for the Colts, it's everybody. I think everybody has had a piece in this team building pie to not allow Carson Wentz to have all the pressure put on him. I'm serious. I mean, it definitely is a breath of fresh air for Carson Wentz to not have the whole city of Indianapolis like he did in Philadelphia on his back because of they see the potential in you or whatever it is that they saw in Philly. It just didn't work, right? And coming to Indianapolis, there are people that still felt like, oh, it's not going to work. He's damaged goods. He's this. He's that. Hey, man, I don't like Indianapolis as much as anybody else do, but you got to give the man his just due. At the moment, he has thrown for 3,200 yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 picks. I mean, that is a pretty decent season to have, especially coming off of a year where a lot of people thought you were done, right? And you have to give credit where credit is due. At the moment, the Colts are 9-6, could have a double-digit win season if they win this week. And again, it goes to show you not just Carson Wentz, but Frank Wright, the Colts organization, on how they continue to keep on keeping this train on the track, no matter who's the quarterback, no matter who's playing defense, no matter who's there. They continue to have a culture, and you have to respect that because there are teams out here that are still searching for that to be continuously at least good, if not great. You feel me, Ish?
I feel you. I feel you.
All right.
Yeah, I mean everything you said. The Colts, they've been a really good team for a long time. We could see it coming. We knew that they were going to have a surge at some point in the season, and the surge has started. And that run game has been amazing. That offensive line, I mean, they deserve all the plaudits in the world because they have just been magnificent up there. And like you said, took the pressure off Carson Wentz, and he's been performing. That defense has been playing really well. And I just don't think that the Raiders have anything for them today. So the Colts should just take care of business. Go out there, take care of business, do what you're supposed to do. Win this game like a playoff team is supposed to win a game of this magnitude. And then you'll go on and move to next week. You're still in the hunt for the AFC South. They're only a game behind the Tennessee Titans. If Tennessee happens to drop a game against a really good Miami team today, who's also fighting for a playoff spot, it could be a little bit of chaos going into Week 18. I said I like chaos. The Tennessee Titans going to have to go against their arch nemesis, the Houston Texans, who have a hot hand at the moment. And with a lot on the line and the sweep and everything, it could be a lot for Tennessee. We'll have to wait and see what my pick is in that game. But
it honestly doesn't matter what Ish's pick is because Ish keeps forgetting that the Titans swept the Colts this year, and it doesn't matter what happens. The Titans are still winning the division. But continue. Okay. I know you want to make chaos, but it ain't gonna happen this year, buddy.
All right, that's all right.
I'm just letting you know. And the Titans are not losing to the Texans, so keep on dreaming there, buddy. Not gonna happen. All right, let's go ahead and move on to a game that Ish needs to wake up to because he's in dreamland right now. The Chiefs and the Bengals. And I'm gonna go ahead and start it off first when it comes to the team. I'm gonna let Ish start it off on how he feels about this game. I want y'all to see the picks, and I want y'all to know that it has nothing to do with hating on the Chiefs. I respect the Chiefs.
Yeah, you're a hater.
I think the Chiefs are going to be a championship. I'll let you know right now. But for this game, I seem like I say this every week for the damn Bengals. I've seen like I've said for the last 3 weeks for the damn Bengals. This is a very important game. This is a game for y'all to show us that y'all can play with the big dogs and for y'all to step up. I'm tired of repeating myself. Bengals, I'm done talking. Y'all made y'all moves for the last couple weeks, good and bad. This is another opportunity for you to do it. I'm giving y'all the benefit of the doubt, but I'm gonna let Ish talk and I'll finish it up.
I mean, I'm picking the Chiefs. Defense has been playing a lot better. The offense has been playing really well at the moment. I mean, when you look at them, they lead the NFL in points per drive. They're able to sustain their possessions, which that's the biggest thing, right? Clock control, ball control, field position. All of these things have led to Kansas City being in the position that they are in right now. Um, and I expect it to continue. I haven't seen anything to lead me to believe that there is any decline on the horizon from them. I do think that they are. I don't think that they're unbeatable. I think that they can be beat. I do think that that defense still has some things to prove to the league. But I think it will take a big day from Joe Burrow and his wide receiving core, and not only them, Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon would have to have a big day for them to win this game. I just don't know that they're going to be able to do that against this defense today. And it's no slight against the Bengals. I really like the Bengals. I like T. Higgins. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite receivers in the game. But I expect Chiefs to take care of business. It's like you said, take care of business week. I expect them to take care of business, continue to hold on to that number 1 seed, and they can clinch the number 1 seed if the Titans lose to the Dolphins later in the day, which we'll get to that game again a little bit later on.
Everything you said is very, very truthful, sir. Of course, like you said, I'm bringing up the number 1 seed. This game is not. I don't think Chiefs go to this game thinking, "Oh, we're just gonna beat the Bengals. The Bengals are the Bengals, and we're gonna keep moving." No, this is a very important team for both of these teams in the AFC. These are 2 top 3 teams in the AFC at the moment.
Yep.
They have slid to the top to number 3 in the AFC, and this could be, who knows, maybe an AFC championship game preview. We don't know yet, but I will say that everything that you're saying, you are correct. The Chiefs more experience, better core, just the overall probably better team, right? But one thing we talk about all the time when it comes to young teams, young players, young whatever, the good and the bad thing about being that you don't know. And what I mean by that is when you're supposed to still be the young cats on the block, and you're not supposed to challenge the old heads yet.
Yeah, you're not supposed to, you're supposed to respect your elders, but
that's my point. You're supposed to say,
you know
what, Patty Mahomes, you're right. Y'all supposed to take the L. No, this is an opportunity for the Bengals to say, we here too. It don't matter if a regular season game, postseason game, a preseason, a game at your mama's house, game on Madden. It don't matter, okay? Bengals, lean on the running game. Do what you got to do. Give the ball to Joe Mixon. I said it last week, 20 carries for 100-plus yards. You almost got that last week. Get there this week, you will win the game. Didn't need it last week. Didn't need it last week. Joe Burrow threw 500 yards. You need it last week. But this week, Mixon, you run the ball. You tote that thing the correct way. You keep Patrick Mahomes on the sideline, you have an opportunity to win the game.
They'll win that game.
You don't turn the ball. Don't turn the ball. You have an opportunity to win the game. But
if they hit that mark,
just like
you said,
we didn't know the Bengals going to do what they did to the Ravens last week. Okay, we didn't expect that. Okay, nobody expected 40. All right, I'm just. That was disrespectful. That was disrespectful.
Coming from there.
Hey, that was disrespectful. So for the Bengals, you have to continue to show not even just the naysayers, not even just your fan base, but yourselves that y'all are as good as what y'all think that y'all are as well.
Yep.
So, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the Eagles and Washington football team. And let's be real, the only people that care about this game are people that live in the Northeast, that's on that I-95 region, because both of these teams are not playing for anything. I know that the Eagles are. Let me finish. I know the Eagles are very close to a playoff spot, and they feel like that they're going to make a playoff run or make a 7th seed. But let's be real. Ish. Let's talk about this right quick. Even if the Eagles do make it to the 7th seed, right, and they were to play the first round, and if at the moment is the Cowboys, Eagle fans, I'm being so serious right now. Do y'all really want those problems? Do y'all really want to go to the playoffs? Let me explain. Do y'all really want to go to the playoffs and lose to y'all arch nemesis, and to have to hear that all year long? It don't matter how far the Cowboys get. The Cowboys will have that notch on their belt to say that we beat y'all in the postseason. I understand. I'm just letting you know that it's not all cake and ice cream. Just thinking, hey, let's get to the playoffs and just play against the Cowboys. We know we can beat the Cowboys. Okay, y'all think y'all can do that?
I mean, you never know what happens when the team makes it to the playoffs.
Especially against a divisional team that you know about and
team that you know about and stuff like that. Like, you never know. The Eagles can clinch a playoff berth with a win and then loss by the Saints and Vikings, or a win and a loss by the Vikings and the 49ers. which the Saints and Vikings, there's a good chance that they both lose this week. So if the Eagles do take care of business in this game, they win and don't allow the football team to upset them, then they very well could clinch their playoff spot today. This is a very important game for Eagles, very important game for Jalen Hurts, who he seems to be trying to hold on to that number one spot. I'm still saying Gardner Minshew, but Jalen Hurts, he's still doing what he needs to do. We're gonna wait and see. I think it helps him tremendously if he clinches a playoff spot for the Philadelphia Eagles and makes it there. I don't even think he has to perform well in the playoff game. I don't think they have to win the playoff game. But as long as he can make the playoffs, I think it helps him tremendously in the conversation of him being the starter moving forward in Philadelphia.
I mean, you're not wrong. The real thing is, do the Eagles organization see it that way? The Eagles management. That's really what it comes down to. I will be the first one to say I feel like they overachieved this year. To be able to be in a position where you could still make the playoffs, I think that's great for everybody, players, coaches, organization wise. Because I didn't see them. I saw them maybe winning 6, maybe 7 games at the max this year. So to already have 8 wins on the season and still be able to make the playoffs, I gotta give my kudos to the Eagles. But season isn't over yet. You can still find a way to not be in the playoffs, or of course, again, you can make that playoff berth, and then also, who knows, maybe you win one game and off to the races on that one. You just never know. So Eagles, show us what you got this week. Show us what you got. All right, Giants and Bears. The G, man. Of course, if you tune into this show, you would know that Ish loves some Danny Jones, and unfortunately he has been shut down for the rest of the season, so you will not see him. But we do have, of course, Mr. Fields, and Mr. Fields, I'm going to take it back. Let me make sure I'm right. Is Nick Foles playing or Mr. Fields? I didn't get to check that out. So please,
I was checking that.
Let us know about that Ish before I go ahead and ramble on. But before I talk about the Bears, I'll just let everybody know about my pick. The reason why I'm picking the Bears. Reports. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Reports are saying that Matt Nagy will be fired after the season is over with, and I know that's great news to Ishmael Sirianni because he's somebody that has been vying for this man's job since maybe week one.
What a joy!
Week one of the NFL season. So if you do know, if you have been tuning to X Talking Ish, you do know that Ish is somebody that might be interviewing for the head coaching job of Chicago to make sure Justin Fields is not put in positions that he was in this season to pretty much die on the football field. So with that being said, just due to how abysmal the Giants are and just how due to the mediocre the Bears are, I'm picking the Bears.
Yeah, I'm picking the Bears. I'm picking the Bears today. Bears at home. That defense normally performs pretty well at home. Like you said, no one-hand Danny Dimes. They got Mike Glennon starting in New York today. So Mike Glennon, for me, he's okay. He can perform adequately, but he's not somebody that I feel like can overcome the pressure from this Bears defense. Andy Dalton starting for the Bears today. I expect Andy to do just enough to win this game, to be honest. And we're looking forward to Matt Nagy finally being out of there. Hopefully he lands on his feet. We're sure he's going to get a job somewhere else.
If Bill O'Brien did, he will.
Yeah, he definitely will get something somewhere else. Wish you well in your future endeavors, sir, wherever you land. We'll be rooting for you. We hope that you do well.
It's lying his ass off.
Glad that you'll no longer be in Chicago.
Go back to Kansas City? Go back to Kansas City?
No, don't go to Kansas City. Go somewhere else.
I'm just asking. That was where he.
No.
The Andy Reid tree.
Yeah, we don't want him back there. He's done. Go.
Interesting. One thing I will say about this game, of course, Mike Glennon will be starting this game again. And one thing I will say about Mike Glennon, he is neck, head, and shoulders above everybody else that's going to be starting this game. So respect Mike Glennon for that. I can't get another neck joke off. I want to.
Please stop. Just leave that man alone. Leave that man in his long neck alone.
Out here looking like Land Before Time and shit, looking like Littlefoot.
Wow. Come on.
Don't tell me you don't miss that movie. I know you missed that movie.
No, man.
Movie. All right, let's go ahead and finish it off with the Falcons and the Bills. ain't too much for me to say on this game. Bills, you at home. I know I talked about this about 3 or 4 weeks ago when it comes to Atlanta coming up to Buffalo. I mean, honestly, again, the way Atlanta is built, playing inside, they really should not be acclimated to this weather at all. The Buffalo Bills should take care of business. The Falcons are not the Patriots where they're going to come in and run the ball 80 times and win this game. No, I don't expect that at all. I expect the Bills to. And for being honest, wouldn't be surprised. I call it right now. Wouldn't be surprised at all if the Bills put up 40. I don't. For some reason, they just like to put up 40 on folks, and I think this is the game. But I also want to see as well, what does Cordell Patterson do? Cordell Patterson has been the guy for me all season long. If he, I know there's no award out there that he's probably going to get just due to the way the awards are structured in the NFL, but you got to give him something. I don't know what you're going to give him. It ain't got to be from the NFL. It could just be from the fans. Patterson, he has been a hell of a player for the Atlanta Falcons. Whether for him, the Atlanta Falcons probably have 2 wins on the season. They'll be fighting for the number 1 draft pick. So, with that being said, Ish, how do you feel about this game?
You know how I feel about this game? I feel like the Bills should take care of business, but this is exactly the type of game that Buffalo would drop. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say what a lot of
people had a big win last week against the Patriots. That we were saying you're on that high.
You're on that real big high. Now you up ahead. Now you lead in the AFC East again. Destiny in your hands.
This don't know how to act. Is what you're saying.
But hey, we've seen it all season long.
These
teams end up getting into the first place in their division for some reason.
From the Bengals to the Ravens to whoever.
You're like, why? Like, what are you doing? Like, you really took your eye off the ball that much that you allowed this team at home a lot of times to come in and beat you. So this is a trap game, I feel like, for Buffalo. You coming right off of that New England game. You're leading the AFC East. Balls in your court. You can win the division. And you got Atlanta here. So we'll have to wait and see.
Take care of your business. Take care of your business, right? At the moment, at the moment, the Buffalo Bills do lead the NFL with point differential on the season with 163. Just 3 weeks ago, it was actually the New England Patriots that were leading point differential, and I thought that was actually remarkable, having the type of team that they have. At one point in time, they had over 150 points over point differential. So again, that just goes to show you that you're doing the right thing when you're on offense. You're doing the right thing when you're on defense. You're taking the ball away and giving it back to your offense to score more points, and your offense is not giving the ball up so the other team can score points if you don't understand what point differential is. Alrighty, then let's go ahead and move on to the Dolphins and the Titans. And let's be real, just maybe a month and a half ago, this game looked like it was going to be a runaway game for the Titans, just the way that the Miami Dolphins were looking. 7 weeks later, the Miami Dolphins are on a 7-game winning streak, and they are back in the thick of things at 8-7, playing against the second seed. My apologies, the second seed in the AFC, the Tennessee Titans. But unfortunately, with the Tennessee Titans and with the energies that they've had at the moment, a lot of people don't look at the Tennessee Titans as a number 2 or even a team that even be taken seriously in the AFC going to the playoffs, which is definitely understandable. I respect that. But it also goes to show you, the reason why people are looking at you a certain way is because the way that you've been playing over the last 4 weeks without Derrick Henry. It is what it is. If you look at the film and you look, Ryan Tannehill starts with you. You're the one that got paid over $100 million before Derrick Henry. It starts with you. You look like shit, okay? So Tennessee Titans as a whole, this game and next week playing against Houston in Houston, it's time to get right. Reports are Derrick Henry's back. Derrick Henry, I know everybody's scared. Oh yeah, winter is coming. Derrick Henry is back, and he is expected to most likely start that first playoff week. And if that is the case, I'm ready to play against anybody in the AFC. As Ish stated all the time, Tennessee Titans are a team that you don't want to play in the playoffs. They're gonna run the ball, they're gonna play sound defense, and they're gonna punch in the mouth. I'm ready to punch some folks in the mouth. Miami Dolphins, they are a team on both sides of the ball. The defensive side do more of the punching, but the offensive side is learning more from the defense, and that's bringing them along on why they have this 7-game winning streak. I think this game is more important, and call me crazy, more important for the Dolphins than the Titans. And what I mean by that is the Titans are going to playoffs. Nobody's worried about that. But the Dolphins, besides them trying to reach a playoff spot, people out here, and me included, I still don't know if I believe in Tua and believe in what the offense is doing just yet, because it's easy to say, oh, they're playing against bad teams, so that's what they're doing. But they're taking care of business. There's a lot of teams out here that have played against bad teams over the season, and they did not take care of business. So you have to respect what the Miami Dolphins have done over the last 7 weeks. But this is where it really comes down to. You played the Tennessee Titans this week and you play the New England Patriots next week to not just win the games, but also to make a playoff spot. You have to beat these two teams to make the playoffs. So we are going to see if the Miami Dolphins are real today and also next week. And we're going to see how jacked up this AFC playoff picture can look in the next couple of weeks, Ish.
Yeah, I've chosen the Titans today, only because I have faith in the Titans, and their philosophy, their team culture. They run the ball hard. They play defense. They play not to get beat, right? Like their defense is not out there trying to win the world over or anything. They're just playing solid defense, and they're going to allow you to make the mistakes. They're going to allow you to hurt yourself. They're going to do just enough to stay in the game and grind out a victory. And I think for me, when it comes to playoff time, that's the kind of team that comes to bite people in the butt because they do what a sound, disciplined team is supposed to do. And that's why I chose them today. I do think that Miami has a chance. I think that what we saw last week with the connection to Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Waddle, that looks a lot better. I do think that this defense has been playing really well. Ever since that Ravens game, they have just kind of flipped the switch and turned it on and just kind of been putting the pressure on everyone. I think if they're able to get to Ryan Tannehill today, if they're able to put pressure on him, cause him to make a couple of mistakes, slow down that run game, we might be able to see Miami keep it really close into the fourth quarter and sneak out with a win here. But I got faith in the Titans. I'm going to roll with them like I normally do around this time of the year. And we'll see what happens. But Miami needs this game. Like you said, Miami needs this game. This is a big game for Miami in these next 2 weeks. If they can come out 2-0, you're in the playoffs.
Yep.
If you drop a
control
game
your own
here,
destiny. Control your own destiny right now.
It really hurts. So we'll have to wait and see that. But yeah, Titans for me.
I respect everything that you said. And just one tidbit just before we move on to the next topic. Miami has allowed 11.7 games per 11.7 points per game since week 9, which is the fewest in the NFL. So, like I said, the Miami Dolphins have been led by their defense, and the offense has, and that's okay. Sometimes it happens, and everybody can't be Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody can't be Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Even though the Buccaneers defense, but that's not a story for another day. My point is that everybody can't be out there slinging that thing and expect to win every game, because guess what? That's what the defense gets paid for, baby. Defense get paid to stop folks. And that's what the defense got to do. That's what the defense have been doing over the last 7 weeks of this winning streak. All righty, then let's go ahead and move on to another take care of your business type of game. Ish, go ahead and start it off.
The Patriots will win this game.
It's not too much to really talk about here, guys. The Patriots should win this game. Take care of this game. 99.7 percentile to win this game. I'm pretty sure you're at home.
Unless they
ain't too much to talk about. Let's go ahead and move on. All right, Broncos Chargers. Since you didn't start last topic-ish, I'll go ahead and let you start it off again.
Yeah. This is an interesting game for me. I was actually excited about this game until what happened 2 weeks ago happened, and Sir Theodore is not going to play once again. We continue to pray for him and hope that he recovers. But we got my man Drew starting again, and I just think with Drew putting the bag on today to start,
put it on. Dora the Explorer looking ass.
I think they're going to lose with Drew starting. I don't think that he has enough to carry them. I expect more so a good offensive battle. We know what the Chargers are able to do. Coming off that loss to Houston, it's going to be a big bounce back game for them. They're going to want to prove a point, I think. And unfortunately for the Broncos, they happen to be the team that's coming up after this loss to Houston. So I expect the Chargers to respond, that offense to come out flying, trying to put up as many points as they can. Austin Eckler has his own personal vendetta against Denver right now. So, I think the Chargers have this at the moment. But I do expect PS2 and his friends in the secondary to make it a little bit tougher on Justin Herbert than many people think.
Definitely understand everything that you just said. After most of it, not saying you're wrong, but I will add on this. The one thing that I am worried about with the Chargers, I have been worried about them all season long, is that, is that the defense is not where it needs to be. Unfortunately, at the moment, they've given up 21 points in 11 straight games, which is tied for the longest streak in team history. Yep. I mean, Justin Herbert, he can put up points, but if you're not helping your second-year quarterback out and, you're giving up 40 points to teams that shouldn't be scoring 40 points on you, it's hard for you to win games. And I'm not giving Justin Herbert excuse. I'm not giving Jesus Christ, the head coach for the Chargers. I'm about to say Zach Taylor. I know it's not him. That's for the Bengals, but the young buck. You got it. Go look it up for me, but yeah, it's not for any. Thank you, Staley, Mr. Staley. It's not for anybody on that Chargers staff to just automatically fix. It's a whole team. Because like I just talked about with the Dolphins, they only have one main guy, Xavier Howard, and everybody else are guys that are, I don't even say filling. They're guys. They're not name brand guys. They're guys that play their role, do their job, and make plays. And another guy that's probably going to be a star very, very soon is Christian Wilkins. That's somebody that if he wasn't a star before he made it to the NFL, I mean he's going to be there sooner than later. But other than that, the Chargers have to figure out. First thing, my bad. Going into the offseason, if the Chargers do not address the defense, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing up there, because that is the first thing, from the line to linebackers and to the secondary. All of your draft picks need to be on defense. Offense, they're fine. You can wide receivers in the offseason. You can get Justin Herbert's fine. Okay, they don't need. You always need an extra piece, but you don't need to beef up that offense the way you need to beef up the defense, because as we see, you're in a division where teams are pretty damn good quarterback wise. To the Broncos, we have to see what they do next year. What if they go out and go get Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson? We have to wait and see what the Broncos seem like. The Broncos every year they have a new quarterback, right? So with the Chargers, I feel like with them, not just with this game, this can be a start, but next season they have to have a completely different look on defense for me to take them seriously, because all season long they have let me down as a team because of games like against the Steelers where you give up a late touchdown and whatnot, right? Where those types of games, or games just last week where you're getting throttled to where you shouldn't even be losing certain games. And if the defense does not get addressed, you will have a Phillip Rivers 2.0 in LA with Justin Herbert.
I see it.
All righty, then let's go ahead and move on to a game that we really won't talk too much about. Of course, Houston Texans and the 49ers. One thing I will say about this game, I don't know if you noticed or not, but Houston has allowed 141 rushing yards this season, which is tied for second most. And the 49ers are a pretty good rushing team. So with that being said, I'm pretty sure we expect to see maybe 150 yards on the ground as a team for the 49ers. Ish, what do you think?
Yeah, I expect 49ers to go out. It's a big game for them. They still are in the hunt for wild card spot. They gotta win these games. They can't pull a Chargers and allow the Texans to sneak up on them. I'm interested to see how the Texans perform. They could win their first. They could have their first 3-game win streak in a long time. So we'll have to wait and see how this team responds, what they're able to do. Now that they are, flying high at the moment, but
surging at the right time.
I expect the 49ers to take care of business.
Now, remember, just a couple weeks ago, we were getting on the 49ers about the no wins that they had at home. And it seems like in the back half of the season is working out tremendously for them, to where they are winning the games that they're supposed to win, and they are gaining the right momentum. They're getting players back, and watch out for them. That's all I can really say. Can they mess up somebody in NFC? Title hosts, Cowboys, Rams. Depending on the match, they get 6 or 7 seed. They could probably play one of those teams. Could they upset? We've seen the 49ers already beat the Rams early in the season. So it's not that it's not doable. It's just matchup wise. Everybody talks about all the time. Matchups definitely. It's just like in boxing. Style makes fights. It's the same way when you go into a playoff game. If the 49ers match up with again a team like the Cowboys, where the Cowboys have been good, but it's been to games where they've been a shell of themselves. What happens if the Cowboys come out and play like that in your world and 49ers punch them in the mouth? It don't matter how good Parsons is. Everybody wants him to be the next LT, but he can only do so much. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. All right, let's go ahead and segue it right into the Cardinals and Cowboys game. Ish. Shall I start this one off before I hand it off to you? Or would you like to take
Go
this
ahead
one?
if you would like to. If you would like to, go ahead, my man.
All right. I just want everybody to see my picks right now because I did pick the Cowboys to win this game. Because right now the Arizona Cardinals are free falling. And I honestly do not know if they're going to stop. And it's very disappointing to watch a team like the Cardinals. Because here's the thing. Nobody took the Cardinals seriously when they were winning the way that they were winning, because everybody just felt like, okay, when are the Cardinals going to have? When are the Cardinals going to have it happens to them every year type of moment? When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? You had J.J. Watt get hurt, but we all know about J.J., right? Everybody know J.J. can go in and go to Brothers Pizza down the street and go get him a pizza, and he'll break his goddamn elbow for some reason. Okay, nobody worried about that. But when you lose DeAndre Hopkins, when you have missing pieces on both sides of the ball, it definitely does affect your team, and also not just affect the team, it also affects your morale and how you feel going into a game. And let's be real, the Cardinals do not need DeAndre Hopkins to finish off this season, but you do need him for the playoffs. What I am worried about more than anything, and I've said this time and time and again, as a wide receiver who loves catching 30 passes a game, I would love to do that. I know this as a person that has been around the game for decades now. As a wide receiver, I can't do everything for my team. I need all of my teammates to be able to win this game for me. And when it comes to Arizona, I don't know if they have that just yet because there are just too many questions and holes. And it looked good in the beginning. Cliff was looking good. He was looking like Ryan Gosling, had the glasses going, said no to OU. I ain't going back to college. I'm in the pros. I ain't going back to college. You feel me? And just a month later, we looking at Cliff like, damn, Cliff, you lose the number 1 seed. You might not even be in the top 4 seed. You might lose the division. And you might lose your job. Like, what's going on here? Ish, can you help me out, please?
I mean, the story is quite obvious if you've been paying attention. In their first 13 games, they only managed to score less than 21 points in 2 games. In the past 3 games, they have managed to score less than 21 points in 2 games. So,
21.
The past 3 games have all been losses. You haven't scored 21 in 2 of those games. The offense appears to be a shell of itself. The offense does not appear to be clicking on all cylinders. There seems to be a disconnect. There seems to be some sort of, it appears that the loss of DeAndre Hopkins has completely gutted this offense. I don't know if it's a moral thing, from a morale standpoint. I don't know, the morale has just dropped from them. I don't know if it's play calling has switched now, because they no longer have that guy at the number 1 spot who demands double coverage and stuff like that. So now other people aren't able to step up and fill that role. But yeah, the offense has been shelling themselves. The defense also hasn't been doing them any favors in helping them. In the game against the Rams, they gave up 30 points. Against the Detroit Lions, they gave up 30 points. And against the Colts, they gave up another 22 points. So the defense also isn't playing really well at this time. It appears that Cliff is losing the locker room, or they've all kind of lost something, the spark that they had at the beginning. All I know is, Cliff, y'all better find this. You better find it fast. You almost made me cuss on the show. You better find it fast, okay? Because you very well could end up losing your job. I said it earlier a couple weeks ago. I said, depending on how they finish this season, I don't necessarily know that they're going to win a Super Bowl. I don't think that anybody is going to be mad if they don't win a Super Bowl. But if it's ugly, how they end the season, Cliff could very well be gone. Cliff could very well be gone. The
What
season's
I'm
getting hotter.
It is, and the cliff is getting shorter, if you know what I mean. What I'm very disappointed in the Cardinals is that all the offseason hoopla that I rode the hype. I'll be the first one to say I rode the hype. Oh boy, look at all the play they getting, boy. They look at it, boy. Hey, but after they was able to get who was they got, I forgot who they got, to where everybody's like, damn, maybe we need to take the Cardinals seriously. I forgot I can't remember off the top of my head, but
I don't remember.
after J.J. Watt, A.J. Green, Connor as well. When they got those pieces, it was like, man, okay, this team can really do something. But in the beginning of the season, we saw what the pieces look like when everything is firing. Zach Ertz, thank you. They got Ertz as well during the season. So at the time, it looked like, man, like maybe the Cardinals really can make a run. Maybe we can take them seriously. But unfortunately, it just seems like they did it to themselves. And also, it goes to show you as well, too, as much as we love Kyler Murray and everybody else loves Kyler Murray out there, the bad little toddler. Let's just be real. It's hard to play quarterback at that size. And also to stay healthy. He's a guy that's, kind of small in stature. He's playing against grown-ass men. You can get away with that shit at Allen and playing in high school. You can get away with that shit at Texas A&M and OU. But NFL, I mean, we've seen grown men at 6'6" and get carried off the field. I'm not saying Kyler is going to have a career-ending injury. I'm just saying that even a guy like Russell Wilson, as good as he is, and been to Super Bowls, won a Super Bowl, still have some troubles from time to time being a smaller quarterback. And I don't know if Kyler, as a stature, will be able to continue to keep taking these hits moving forward over the next 5 to 8 years. That's what I want to see. I want to see if Kyler is able to protect himself more than he has in the past. All right, go ahead and keep it short and sweet on this game. Lions versus the Seahawks. I'll be honest with you, Ish. I was going to pick the Lions. I really was. But I told myself, you know what? No, the Lions disappointed me multiple times this season. I'm not falling for the okie doke because I'm going to go down with the Seattle Seahawks ship. And even if they lose, I'm going to go down with that ship because I trust that ship a lot more than I trust the Lions. And word on the street, this could be the last game for Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll in Seattle. It could be an end of an era. So I think they're going to give the fans what they want. They're going to try and give them one more win out there in Seattle for the 12th man. But other than that, I'm excited to see what happens in all phases. Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson, and also Seattle. I want to see what they look like rebuilding and see what they do after the Russell Wilson era. And I'm excited to see where Russell goes. I know everybody everybody is quick to say automatically the Giants, especially with Sierra and all that good stuff. But I don't think that's as automatic as everybody seems. I think teams like Denver
and Danny Dimes.
Anyways, I think teams like Denver are still in play. I think teams like the Houston Texans, surprisingly, I know, call me crazy, are still in play. I don't think Russell comes to Houston. I'm just saying I think teams like that are still in play. And then also as well, Pittsburgh Steelers. Why not the Pittsburgh Steelers? It's a guy we don't have to worry about him. He's a role model. He's a culture in Pittsburgh.
He fits the culture.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So why not? It's going to be interesting to see. This offseason you think the season was great and crazy? The offseason is going to be even more hectic and crazy as well. So it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see what happens. It ain't too much to talk about. Ish, go ahead and, of course, say your 2 bits. I know, again, we both picked the Seahawks.
The Seahawks going to win this. I think it's the end of an era. They're going to come out. They're going to play well. There's going to be a lot of emotions going on there in Seattle. That's why I expect Seattle to come out on top. I don't expect them to drop a game like this to the Lions. If they do, then
it's a reason why both parties are probably going to go ahead and get up out of Seattle if they go ahead and lose that game. I definitely agree with you on that one. All right, Panthers and Saints. I'm going to let you start with this one, Ish, because this is let's be real, an irrelevant NFC South matchup.
Yeah, it's very irrelevant. Sam Darnold returning for the Panthers is the headline. I think that that's what made me choose the Panthers at this moment. I really, if I could pick, if I didn't have to pick a team, I probably wouldn't pick a team because
I definitely agree.
Honestly, I don't care about either one of the teams. They're both in a bad situation. They're both looking towards the offseason at this point. And Sam Darnold's what I'm just gonna be honest. Sam Darnold's what made the difference for me. If it was Cam Newton starting, I would have picked the Saints.
Now, if we are being technical, the same way we talked about the Philadelphia Eagles still having a chance to make the playoffs, the New Orleans Saints do have a chance as well. They are 7-8. They are in the 10 seed, but you are only a game away from Philadelphia and San Francisco, and you are tied 7-8 with Minnesota and Atlanta. There is still a chance, very very slim, but there is still a chance. But with the Saints, just let's be real. Unfortunately, ever since Jameis has gotten hurt, everything has been a free for all. You went 0-for with Trevor Siemian. You went 3-for-4 with a Swiss Army knife Taysom Hill, and unfortunately, people can call me crazy or whatever, but I feel like this is the reason why not just the Saints, but everybody in the NFL has to start taking the backup quarterback job a little bit more seriously. Because if we've seen everybody in the NFL, not just this year, but over the last 10, 15 years, sooner or later, your backup quarterback is going to have to come in at least a game or two and come and help out. It happened in Tennessee. It's happened in Kansas City. Chad Henne has come in a crucial playoff game and won y'all playoff game, right? Yep. So the backup quarterback job is not a sexy job, but is a very, very important job, because if you have that drop-off, let's just say from Tom Brady to Blaine Gabbert, the team is not going to look the way that it wants to look. And I'll just use it a great example. If everybody watched that Sugar Bowl game last night with Ole Miss, and we saw Matt Corral get hurt, and
freshman came in, true freshman.
Yes, true freshman came in. Alt Right, I think that's his name. I can't get it. I can't remember his name right now. The point is, he came in, played well, and with him being thrust in that role, he didn't have time to prepare. He had time. He of course prepared. I'm sorry, in the bowl practices, but he didn't have time, and he really didn't even think that he was going to play that game, because that was Matt Corral's type of game. But when you have to step up and be put in a position to win, that's what's going on in the NFL right now. I think the only couple of teams right now that hasn't had to worry about their backup quarterback is Aaron Rodgers, the Packers, Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. Dak got hurt. Yeah, Dak got hurt. Without a game or two, and he had Cooper Rush come in. So every quarterback, it seems like this season, has had to maybe miss a game. So again, moving forward, that's something that I think general manager might have to take a little bit more seriously. Is that quarterback? That backup quarterback role. Ish.
Yeah. I think that some teams, they already do. Let's look at the Ravens, for example. And
yes. Like have three decent quarterbacks.
Yeah, we praised them all year. Huntley has come in, played very well for them. Some people in Pittsburgh would even say that Mason Rudolph has been able to come in and do stuff for them. He doesn't always do the most exciting job, but he does a solid job, I think. So I think some teams, they do kind of really prioritize that position, and there are other teams that it just seem like they kind of they ride and die with the number one. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen with Jameis Winston in the offseason. Like we said, the offseason is going to be
offseason, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because there is going to be a lot of movement. There's a lot of questions that teams have that we're going to have to figure out where people are going.
Just like I said with Russ. Russ could be in New Orleans. That'd be a great fit for him as well, too. You're going to see Sierra. Hey, Sierra going to be in that French Quarter. And she's going to be looking like Zion real soon. Going to be looking like Zion. Going to have a couple pounds on. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying is.
I don't.
You do. All right, let's go ahead and finish off a Sunday night football game for the night. And, of course, if everybody didn't realize you didn't have any Thursday night football games this week, you didn't have any Saturday night football games this week, that's because all the games start today. All the games are today, and also, of course, we have a Monday Night Football game tomorrow, which will be the last Monday Night Football game of the year. So don't think you have a Monday Night Football game next Monday. You're going to be looking real silly on the couch by yourself. All right, with this game, the Vikings and Packers, this game probably would be a little bit better if the Vikings were able to win the game they were supposed to and be an 11-win team like they were supposed to. This game probably could have been for the division if the Vikings would have taken care of their business. I believed in the Vikings. I believed in the Vikings week 5, week 6. They've let me down, not because of Kirk Cousins, but because of the whole team. Kirk Cousins has played phenomenal. He has earned his contract this year. But for the most part, the Vikings do what the Vikings do best. That's just waste talent.
No Kirk Cousins in this game. Let's chalk it up to an easy Green Bay win. We'll
Yep,
just say
Kirk
that.
Cousins is out for COVID protocol, and that is very upsetting for Minnesota fan base. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure Kirk Cousins do not like that. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Of course, tomorrow. Please join us for a Monday Night Football halftime show between the Browns and the Steelers. That will be a great thing to check out on Monday night. Honestly, not really, because that game probably might be a barn burner and for all the wrong reasons. So I'll say that right now. Let's go ahead and get into the playoff standings right quick in the AFC. This is before the games start, so of course this will change on Tuesday when y'all join us again for the post-game show. Number 1, the Chiefs. Number 2, the Titans. Number 3, the Bengals. Number 4, the Bills. Number 5, the Colts. Number 6, the Patriots. Number 7, the Dolphins. On the NFC side, the Packers are number 1. The Cowboys are number 2. The Rams are number 3. The 4 seed are the Buccaneers. Number 5 are the Cardinals. Number 6 are the 49ers. And number 7, are the Eagles. With that being said, before we get up out of here for this morning, we haven't let y'all know just yet. We let y'all know about a month ago. We haven't updated y'all recently until right now. We want to let y'all know that we are, of course, we will be live in Fort Worth this upcoming weekend to be able to be a part of the 2022 College Gridiron Showcase. One thing I will not let y'all know is what will be presented out there. Y'all have to, of course, tune in and check out what's going on. But for the most part, this is a great event for young high school players trying to get a college scholarship and, or of course, just trying to get noticed to be able to play in college, and also, of course, college athletes trying to make it into the NFL. So we have 2 different sections that we're going to be checking out. And as well, we have another surprise. I talked about it briefly a couple weeks ago. I'll wait until everything gets panned out the way I wanted to be able to present it the way I wanted to. So just be able to, or just make sure y'all tune in. We will keep y'all updated. Ish, you want to speak a little bit on this?
Yeah, just exciting time. Great opportunity for these athletes, like you said. It's gonna be a wonderful event. So very excited about it. Very excited to get some coverage out there. And who knows? We might find the next great undrafted or late round
Yep.
pick out there, and we might even find the next college superstar. You guys never know.
And also, too, you'll be surprised who we'll be able to run into and we'll be able to talk to as well while we're out there. At the end of the day, what Ish and I do with this show and what we do in sports, we do it because we love it. It's not a chore to us. It's not a job. It's honestly just extra whipped cream and a cherry on top to my life. And hey, I'm excited for this, Ish. I know you are, and we're gonna do it right like we always do. If you don't know what we do, you can go ahead and always check out the HBCU Combine video that we did in April. You can always check that out on X Talking Ish to see maybe what we might have presented for y'all. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be some great content, gonna be some great footage, and as long as y'all stay tuned, we will definitely you will definitely like what you see. Travis Crow also says, "Happy New Year, fellas! Have a great Sunday and blessings to both of y'all this year. We appreciate that as always.
Too. Happy New Year to all of you, Travis. Blessings to you, my man.
It might be a new year, but it's not about being a new you. It's about being a better you. Remember that, everybody. Being a better you. Don't be a new you. Be a better you. Alrighty then. With that being said, let's go ahead and get up out of here for this morning, because I'm about to go eat me some breakfast-ish.
Yeah.
All right then.
Sunday.
Yes, sir. Y'all enjoy your Sunday. See y'all Monday for Monday Night Football, and also see you on Tuesday for the post game.